Hello everyone, back to today's second video. Going to have a look at the weather for the next week to 10 days. For today's second video, that's going to take us to around the 2nd, 3rd of April. So we're heading into the next month with week to 10 day video update time frame. Now we'll be able to extend out beyond that, the extended GFS and ECM ensembles over to around a couple of weeks. Have a look at CFS V2 as usual at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks. Just say that the ECM 30-day look ahead has been released, so that is taking us into the second half of April. And it's looking pretty cold actually across many parts of Europe in the weekend. Of course, it is a update not only for the UK, but for the rest of Europe as well. It's looking pretty cold for much of Europe in the next couple of weeks. So big changes on what I've had over the past few weeks and months. Now, before I get on with anything else, I'm going to say thank you very much to our latest donor. We have had a donation through PayPal for Gaz Weathers, so I'm going to say a big thank you to this person. I want to say anonymous, which is absolutely fine if you would like to give a donation to Gaz Weathers but not have your name mentioned in videos, and that's not a problem whatsoever. Just let us know when you leave your donation and we'll just do what we're going to do right now and say thank you so much to Anonymous. You know who you are, Anonymous. You'll be watching the video, I'm quite sure. So yes, you know who you are, I know who you are, and a big thank you to you for your donation. If you would like to join Anonymous and give a donation to Gaz Weathers, all you need to do is come to Gaz Weathers' PayPal page, sign into your PayPal account, and then give whatever donation to Gaz Weathers you would like. That's absolutely great. That's absolutely fantastic. And thanks to everybody for doing that. Of course, there's also a Patreon as well, so you can become a patron for Gaz Weathers. We have got 63 patrons so far. So hello and a big thank you to our 63. Thanks. If you'd like to become a patron for Gaz Weathers and give an ongoing monthly donation, it can be anything from $1 a month upwards. All you need to do is come to Gaz Weathers' Patreon page. You sign up for a Patreon account, assuming you don't already have one, and then you can give that ongoing monthly donation to Gaz Weathers. Whether you do it through PayPal or whether you do it through Patreon, you're going to get a mention in videos. We'll give you a shout out, say thank you very much, as long as you want one. If you would rather not have one, then it's not a problem at all. We'll still say thank you to you, but as an anonymous person, you'll still know who you are. Of course, you might want to mention for your website, for your business and whatnot. We're very happy to do that for you as well. We are primarily ads funded at Gaz Weathers, so will be remaining so. At the moment, of course, we're going through the economic and also medical crisis of the coronavirus. This is both a medical emergency and also a financial crisis, which means that the advertisements that are running on gazweathers.com and with the videos on YouTube are not earning, not only this website, but all websites, not earning us as much as we would normally expect. In fact, the money that we get from advertisements absolutely collapsed. I can tell you that it's absolutely collapsed over the past 2 to 3 weeks, and it's a very, very serious situation for not only Gaz Weathers but for all of your favourite websites and YouTube channels and whatnot. It's a very, very concerning and serious situation for us. So the other revenue streams that we've got, like Patreon and PayPal, they are very, very helpful at this really nasty time that we're going through, both medically, health-wise, and also financially. Of course, it's a very concerning time for everybody, and I appreciate that also. If you can give us a donation, then it is very welcome, but only do so, of course, if you're in a financial position to be able to do that, because I realise it is a very, very concerning time for everybody. And a huge thank you to our patrons and to our donors. It really does mean a huge amount. You're helping us to keep going with Gaz Weathers. So thank you so much to all of you for doing that. And yeah, we just got to stick together, stay safe, and keep ourselves as healthy as we possibly can. We will get through this crisis if we all come together as a community, and that's what we're going to do to get through it, and we will get through it, and better times are going to be around the corner. I'm quite certain about that. So big thank you to all of our patrons, big thank you to all of our donors, especially special thank you for your donation to Anonymous. Thank you so much, Anonymous, for doing that. Right, I'm going to start off with the situation at 10 HP. Now, I was expecting this black line to lift up further than this. I'm not sure if it's been updated from yesterday, but I thought the black line, which is the current temperature at 10 HPA, would be lifting up to around this sort of level by now. We are still keeping the black line around there, so somewhere around minus 25 degrees Celsius. So this, of course, is showing us as stratospheric warming that's been taking place over the past few days. The grey line is a trend line, so we're above the grey line now, 10 HPA in the stratosphere. Over the North Pole, the temperature is significantly above that, but it isn't quite as far up this chart as I thought we was going to get, and it's not going to get any further than that, I don't think, unless there's been some sort of delay. This is Japanese Meteorological Agency chart, of course, so unless there's been some sort of delay in Japan in updating this, and it won't get any further up the chart than this black line. So it looks like the peak of this sun stratospheric warming occurred a couple of days ago at around minus 18 Celsius, something like that. But I was expected to go to kind of like minus 10. Or maybe a little bit higher than that. So it hasn't gone quite as expected, this stratospheric warming. Nevertheless, a very significant warming of the stratosphere has taken place. If we go lower down to 30 HPA, we are warming things up at this level of the atmosphere as well. We're still a bit under average, though. So that's where we are right now. You see the black line is lifting up from where it was a couple of weeks ago. It was down there back at the end of February, down below minus 80. So it has lifted temperature up at 30 HPA, closer to the troposphere, but we're still under the grey line. We're still under trend even now. So a significant warming of the stratosphere has taken place. I think it still just about reaches southern stratospheric warming type levels, but not quite as warm as I was expecting it to go during Sunday and Monday. So this is the current temperature at 10 HPA in the stratospheric North Pole. Now this seems to be showing temperatures right over the top of the North Pole, somewhere around minus 12 to minus 16, which on this chart just here should be lifting the black line up to about there. So I'm a bit unsure about what's going on here, why that black line hasn't lifted up further than that. But anyway, this is how the GFS is currently showing things at Meteoshield. Temperatures over the North Pole, somewhere around minus 12, minus 16. That's come down a little bit from where they would have been yesterday as well. And as we run through, you can see that the temperature continues to lower. So yes, we can't maintain those high temperatures indefinitely. And we just keep those yellow and green colours sitting over the Arctic and North Pole then as we go up towards the beginning of April. So relatively a warm temperature at 10 HPA continuing in the next couple of weeks. So of course we wait to see what, if any, impacts this is going to have on the troposphere. We are going to have a significant cold interlude over the weekend, actually. Now, whether this is has any association with the southern stratospheric warming or whether it's a coincidence, we can't say definitively, but it is interesting that very shortly after the southern stratospheric warming, we're going to see a big drop in temperature. So these are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles at Peterborough today. If you would like to have your local town or city featured within this section of video, then we're always happy to do that. So just let us know through the comments or email us at galswebbies.com. We will add you into the list for this section of the video. So the upper air temperatures at Peterborough at the moment are significantly above average. We're in one of those situations where it's warm by day. We realise the upper air temperature potential by day. Under the sunny skies, very pleasantly warm. By night, it's still getting very cold, and we're still having widespread frost and widespread ground frost. So that's the situation as we start off. Now we see the temperatures are going to be lowering from this point on. Really, they're going to be gradually coming down, and then that come down sort of accelerates at the end of the week and into the weekend, where we actually go quite cold. We're seeing the upper air temperatures dropping to around minus 10 at 850 HPA. Beyond that, the temperatures then start to stage a little bit of a recovery as we go through the first week of April, although some of these ensemble members are keeping things quite cold. But overall, it looks like temperatures begin to stage a bit of a recovery through the first week of April. It's a bit of a slow old process, though. It won't be immediate. It's going to take a while, I think, to lift the temperatures up. But eventually, by the time you get through towards the end of the first week of April, we should then be in a relatively significantly milder period. Still quite cold with some of those ensemble members. Very dry over the next week as well. Barely any precipitation to speak of really for Peterborough. Through the first week of April, it goes more unsettled, a little bit more unsettled, rather more precipitation spikes. That is extended range, though. That's very extended range stuff, and therefore quite unreliable. So overall, it looks like possibly a little bit more unsettled and a little bit milder through the first week of April, but it's extended range and is to be determined. Before that, relatively dry, but becoming significantly colder as we get towards the weekend. Temperature anomalies from the 24th of March to the 1st of April below average, not just the UK, but through many parts of Europe. A cold week to come. Precipitation anomalies are drier than average from the 24th of March to the 1st of April. So cold and dry really sums it up in the week ahead. That's how the GFS is looking for Friday. So on Friday, we're bringing a cold front down across the country, and that will eventually introduce a much colder north to northeasterly wind as we go into the weekend. And that northeasterly really picks up across England and Wales over the weekend. Less of a north to northeasterly for Scotland and Northern Ireland, but for England and Wales, a strong northeasterly wind. Feeding in cold upper air temperatures. These are very cold upper air temperatures with minus 10 Celsius iceberg is pushing through the country. So that's very unusual for late March, see the minus 10 Celsius iceberg pushing through like that. By day, we probably see temperatures limited to around or just under double digits, probably around 8, 9, 10 degrees by day, but lowering if any showers come through. By night, probably hard overnight frost. Those east-northeasterly is continuing to the start of next week across England and Wales as well. And then the high pressure begins to slip south as we start to cut off that northeasterly. Still quite a strong easterly across the south, but this comes from a milder direction now as we get through to the middle of next week. Otherwise, though, still a lot of high pressure in control of the weather. So a reasonable amount of dry weather, but temperatures will be quite low through the early part of next week. By day 10, which is the 3rd of April, we're just starting to lift up the temperature then, I think, and trying to encroach these areas of low pressure in from off the Atlantic. Temperatures then will begin to lift up and possibly start to get a bit more showery down in the south and the southwest. More extended range, it's more unsettled flavour to the weather then as we go through the first week of April, as we saw on the 500 millibar, on the GFS ensembles, I should say, with low pressure coming in from off the Atlantic. Through that first week of April, possibly just lifting up the temperature, yes, returning temperatures back to average or relatively mild levels, but definitely bringing the threat of some rain at times. This is a temperature forecast based on that GFS run. So very pleasantly mild today. It's showing maximum temperatures down around 14, 15, 16 degrees. You may be able to increase that by a degree more, so 17 is possible today. Very mild, even quite warmish, sort of spring-like day today. Number one, tomorrow, temperatures again could be up to around 16, 17, maybe 18 or 19 Celsius can't be ruled out tomorrow. So a real burst of spring today and tomorrow. Still pretty mild on Thursday, but temperatures do lower by a couple of degrees on Thursday. But it's really Friday that that cold front starts to push through. Probably be no more than a band of rain, but as the cold front pushes through, it lowers the temperature. So by Friday, we're looking at temperatures in the south, probably maxing out at around 13 degrees still, but in the north, dropping into single digits. And then as we go into a weekend, then it gets much colder as winds swinging to the northeast. So Saturday sees temperatures struggling to get out of single digits. We may get up to around 10 or 11 on the south coast, but really most places see those temperatures pegged back into single digits. Even colder on Sunday. This is when we're pushing a minus 10 Celsius iceberg through the country, of course, on this GFS run. So then it sees maximum temperatures around 5, 6 degrees across England and Wales. Colder than that for Scotland, 6, 7 for Northern Ireland. You normally add a degree or two onto these temperatures. So on the south coast, it's going for around 6 to 7. We may be able to increase that to 8 to 9. So possibly just clawing up towards double digits on the south coast, but it is a much, much colder spell that we've got coming up over the weekend, and that lasts into the early part of next week. Again, temperatures well pegged back well into single digits early next week. It looks so going to be pretty cold right way up to Tuesday 31st of March. Temperatures are still really struggling. So it's going to be a hammer blow on the temperatures as we go through next week. Or through weekend into the early part of next week. And then later next week, probably a bit of a recovery in the temperature, at least by day. GM looks like that. So again, high pressure is dominating weather on Friday, but it will be a cold front slipping southwards into that high pressure. And as that clears through, then we open the door to those north to northeasterly winds over the weekend as the high pressure pulls out to the west of Scotland. So cold north to northeasterly winds pushing through the country then. And they last into the early part of next week as well. Minus 10 Celsius ice firm is pushing in from the east through the early part of next week, so sort of late weekend, early next week. Again, will feel very cold in those northeast winds. And then the high pressure sort of slips down over the country as we move towards day 10. We cut off those northeasterlies. So by day, we should start to see a bit of a recovery in the temperature through next week. Probably still quite cold, though, by night under this high pressure. And down in the south, we continue with pretty cold easterly winds as well along the south coast. Lots of dry weather, though, again, through the course of next week. ECM looks like that. So, again, we've got high pressure reaching through the country on Friday with a cold front pushing southwards. Saturday to Sunday, again, we pull in those cold north to northeasterly winds, and they continue into the early part of next week. There's the upper air temperatures at midnight on Monday. So, again, looking really cold through most parts of the country through the weekend and into early next week. A bit different with the ECM in the extended range. It starts to pull that high pressure out to the west, and we renew the northerly. So this is Thursday the 2nd of April. There's another cold front plunging southwards here that does introduce a very cold, a bitterly cold northerly wind there as we get to day 10. Friday the 3rd of April. The upper air temperatures looking very cold across many parts of the country. You'll notice that the GFS and the GEM doesn't show that renewed northerly around days 9 and 10. So I'm a bit dubious about it, but it is certainly a very long-fetched northerly. If you follow the isobars back, just look how far north that north wind is coming from. It goes right off the top of the chart actually and plunges down to Spain and North Africa. So that is an incredible northerly wind there that the ECM has setting up around day 10. As I say, I'm not all that sure how well supported that is. We'll have a look at the ECM ensembles in a moment to see. This is the temperature forecast based on that ECM run. It's a rainfall forecast based on that ECM run from tameteo.com. And we've got lots of dry weather away from the far northwest at the moment. It's very wet far northwest of Scotland, but otherwise a lot of dry weather around. And then as we move in towards the extended range, we find that, as we get towards the weekend, we've got wintry showers coming into the east, actually. So, again, I'm monitoring the situation. We may do snow watch later in the week for this coming weekend, if it's warranted. So, just watch your space on that. And then we do move into the extended range. It turns relatively dry until we get that renewed northerly. And look at this, you have lots of snow showers then packing into the north and around those coastal areas as we get towards day 10 on those very strong northerly winds. These are the options on the table from the ECM ensembles for day 10, which gets us to the 3rd of April. We have 10 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure up towards Greenland and low pressure over and to the east of the country. Winds are in from the north with those, so they do look cold and wintry with those 10. It does include the ECM control and operational run. 9 have low pressure to the north of the country and the mid-Atlantic ridge, bringing in sort of northwesterlies. 9 with high pressure just to west of Ireland. There's mainly dry but milder. Winds are sort of westerly with that one. Another 9 just here with high pressure sort of centred around Iceland. And low pressure to our east and southeast. They're bringing cold north to northeasterlies and could be quite unsettled. 7 with an area of high pressure pretty much over the top of the country. And then another 7 with a mid-Atlantic ridge going up towards Greenland and a trough of low pressure to our east. They're bringing down a long fetch northerly. So a lot of options on the table, but quite a few of them do look pretty cold, you have to say. So this idea from the ECM at day 10 for this very long fetch northerly may not be, I mean, it's not an outlier solution, let's put it that way. And it could be when we get to the early part of April, we're going to have a renewed shot of northerly winds. In 2 weeks' time, easy options that we've got, this gets us to the 8th of April. We have 19 members of the ECM Ensemble's men bringing low pressure in from the west. So they're unsettled and probably relatively mild. 12 with a trough of low pressure more or less over the top of the country, so they look unsettled. 11 with high pressure over or just to the east of the country, that's going to be dry and relatively mild. Winds are up from the south. And then 9 with low pressure out to the northwest, high pressure to our south-southeast, and we're bringing in a west-southwesterly. So generally looking quite unsettled actually with most of those options as we get towards the end of the first week of April, telling us that as we go through the first week of April, temperatures may recover, yes, but it might turn more unsettled again, which of course is something that we saw a few minutes ago within the GFS ensembles for Peterborough. Finally, this how the CFSV2 is looking for the next 4 weeks. These are 500 millibar heights. They're broken down to week periods. The first week period takes from 24th to 30th of March. The coming week will be dominated by high pressure ridging in from the Atlantic into the UK and Northern Europe. Low pressure is up to the north. Jet stream is pushed north, but we are bringing in an easterly wind. So dry and cold, really, with winds from the east in the week ahead. Week 2 is the 31st of March, 6th of April. High pressure in, across Scandinavia to north of Scotland and going out towards Greenland. Low pressure is to our south, and winds again probably coming in from a cold easterly type direction. So the next couple of weeks looking cold overall. Then, same idea as we've been talking about through the video, really. Go from the 7th to the 13th of April. Below average heights return to the north. Winds go back into the west, so it starts to become milder. Bring winds in from the Atlantic, but it does start to go more unsettled again as well. And then week 4 looks like that. It's the 14th to the 20th of April. Low pressure then out to the northwest. High pressure returns to Scandinavia. And winds are certainly having a really good go at going back into the east once again. So after that more unsettled interlude in week 3, we probably go back to drier but maybe colder conditions again in week 4. Could April 2020 be our first colder than average month of the year? Based on these charts, you certainly wouldn't rule out the possibility, but it's very early days. We're not even in April yet. It's only the 24th of March, and we've got a long, long way to go. Right then, so that's it for your videos today. Tomorrow we'll have the 5-day forecast, of course, always on a Wednesday, and we'll have another week 10-day video update as well, so come back for tomorrow's videos. Don't forget to give us a like on the video if you've enjoyed it, give us a thumbs up, let us know in the comments what you think, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and then you'll be notified when we release the content that you are enjoying. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday afternoon, stay well, stay safe, and we'll see you tomorrow. That's all for now, and thanks for watching.